What up, y'all? This is Tracy from Nerd Squish, and today we're talking about the 2025 hit horror movie, Sinners. I don't remember the movie that I was watching in the theaters the first time I saw a trailer for Sinners, but what I do remember is the way that this trailer made me feel. The first trailer told you absolutely nothing, yet I was instantly hooked. Michael B. Jordan is playing a set of twins, there's fire, something spooky is going on. That was it. I couldn't really tell you what the movie was about, but I could tell you that I wanted more. And then the second trailer came out and revealed that this was in fact a vampire movie. Which, don't get me wrong, I heard that information and I was like, okay, well now I want to see this even more. But at the same time, I wish that that wouldn't have been revealed. I can only imagine the impact that this story would have had if I had gone in just after watching that first trailer, and then I'm watching this brilliant story unfold, and then boom! Vampires. But alas, between different trailers and the undefeated internet, we knew that it was a vampire film. However, this is not your average vampire flick. This film has layers and depth, so let's dive in. This genre-defying movie, set in 1932, follows the story of a set of identical twins, Smoke and Stack, as they return to their home in the Mississippi Delta. They purchase an old sawmill and open a juke joint for the local black community, but not everything goes according to plan when an ancient evil plagues their grand opening. This movie is very similar to From Dusk Till Dawn in the fact that you've got vampires and you're essentially watching two stories in one. The main plot is a story of racial inequality and resilience, the struggle of Black Americans trying to reclaim joy and culture in a time of oppression. But then there's this second layer where you're bringing vampires to the mix, and on top of all of that, all of your characters have other issues that they're dealing with, whether it be unresolved baggage or family guilt. So there's just like a lot going on, and on paper, this doesn't make sense. Like, you're reading it and you're like, that's too much for one movie, right? You would think that the supernatural twist would kind of cheapen the message of this film. But the formula works, and the glue that holds it all together is music. This movie took the concept of the blues being the devil's music to a whole nother level. Originally given that label for its ties to juke joints, raunchy lyrics, and rebellious behavior, Sinners taps into that fear and turns it into power. The blues is not just entertainment here. It's a weapon. This is like a spiritual situation, okay? And it's taking that fear and it's attacking those who dare try to steal or silence it. And on top of all of that, the music serves as this link, with the past and the future and all this generational music history. And there is a particular scene in this movie that I learned was all filmed in one day, but it is so beautiful and impactful, and it is just perfection. Perfection. So if you're a music lover, you're going to love this film. And not only are the characters performing these amazing blues numbers, but the score of this movie is also a standout. It adds this metal-like tension that just cranks up the intensity during those vampire scenes. And when we talk about influences for this movie later on, that's all gonna piece together and make sense. Look at that shameless plug right there. Oh yeah. Obviously, the music is a big part of why this movie is a success, but for me, there's two other parts of that equation. The first being the cast. Every single member of this cast is a joy to watch. We all know that Michael B. Jordan is amazing, especially if there's two of them, but I don't care what role we're talking about this film, big or small, they all kill it. Some of the other standouts in my opinion are Delroy Lindo, who plays Delta Slim, and he definitely brings those funnier, more lighthearted moments to the movie.
I think I shat myself.
Then we got Wunmi Musaku, who plays Annie, and she is just such a brilliant, strong, and smart character who brings her knowledge of Louisiana Bayou voodoo to the group in this situation and helps everyone figure out how to fight these vampires. And of course, our main villain, Remick, who is played by Jack O'Connell. He is a brilliant villain, and if I do say so myself, makes evil look pretty good. Now, the second part of this success formula is the style of the vampires in the movie. Despite this being a genre-defying and unique film, we have traditional vampires. Can't go in the sunlight, needs to be invited in, doesn't like garlic. Ryan Coogler did not try to reinvent the vampire and create some wild thing that works for his own story. He didn't really drastically change the way they look. You know, they've got the traditional fangs, they have some like glowy eye situation, and your main vampire's got some sick claws on him. He took something ancient and done to death, but still made it exciting and fresh. Good old Southern Gothic vampires. Well, it's set in Southern Gothic, right? Our main vampire is Irish, and the fact that they're playing these Rocky Road to Dublin songs in the movie, the way I just wanted to get out my seat and just, you know, do an Irish jig, not that I know how to do an Irish jig, but I was about to learn in that theater because I was feeling it. Now that I think about it, it's kind of a miracle that I did not stand up at any point in this movie and just start grooving, because literally banger after banger after banger in this film. Our director and writer, Ryan Coogler, had a lot of interesting influences when he made this film. We have two Robert Rodriguez films, The Faculty and From Dusk Till Dawn, with the latter being pretty obvious. We've got the famous Stephen King novel, Salem's Lot. One influence that I am not familiar with is a very specific episode of The Twilight Zone, The Last Rites of Jeff Myrtlebank, which I definitely need to check out now that I've seen this movie. And perhaps the most interesting influence of them all, the Metallica song One. The influence with this one specifically came out when planning the story's rhythm. He describes the song as something that starts off with like easy listening, and then it just goes completely off the rails, which seems completely random and you never saw it coming, but at the same time extremely obvious. So he took that formula, he took that process, and he applied it to the movie. Ryan Coogler is most known for Black Panther and Creed, which are two movies that are so different in multiple ways from Sinners. This is his first film that's an original idea, and it's his very first horror project. And I really hope that this is not the last time we see Coogler dive into the world of horror, because he makes horror look good. This is honestly one of the best movies that I've seen in a long time. Dare I say, flawless, a masterpiece. And I think just about anyone could enjoy this film. If you're looking for a solid and unique vampire film, you got it. If you want something layered and littered with symbolism, you got it. It's kind of wild to think how successful this movie is, because y'all know how it is. If you're a horror fan, horror is a very, I don't know what the word is, overlooked, kind of made fun of genre that people don't take seriously. They think it's just cheap thrills. On the flip side of that, you have this like overly elevated horror. And this movie is neither. It is that happy medium space of horror movie where you do not have to be a horror fan to enjoy this story. I didn't just love Sinners, I felt this movie in my bones, in my soul. The blues were basically a pulse of a story where we were transported into a world of bloodsuckers and nasty history. A world where music could save you, or it could be the very thing that leads you to the devil. And if you keep dancing with the devil, one day, he's gonna follow you home. So that's my thoughts on Ryan Coogler's Sinners. Now it's y'all's turn to sound off in the comments and let me know what you thought of the movie, who your favorite character was, your favorite scene, or favorite song. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so when new videos hit the channel, you'll be notified. Yeah, there's a lot of There's a lot of finger guns in this place, so I apologize in advance because, you know, it's just the wild, wild west over here. And as always, thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch you nerds later.